Hey everybody, welcome back to Secrets of the Lost Tomb. Now we're actually going to start playing the game. Let me get rid of this tile here that I forgot to do. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so our adventures all start here in the tomb entrance. So the first player to go is the one who has that. So Iron O'Sullivan will be our first adventurer to go. So the first thing I'm going to do with him is he's pretty good at searching. Not really good mythos, but he does have a magnifying glass which may reroll any search check once per round. And then he also gets +2 no knowledge checks because of Sir Lawrence of Britain and +1 on story checks. And she's offensive. So for my first action here, I will go ahead and do a search action. As you can see, we are in fact on the green. So let's go ahead and here, transfer back to this, go back, roll a single. Remember, we just roll 1d6. I rolled a 6. So if we look here at the lovely book, let me go ahead and transfer back. I apologize, guys. There we go. Here we go. So we look at the book. 6 on green means we get to take 2 treasures, and we get to keep 1. So let's go ahead and draw 1, 2. And let's look at what we found here. Alright, so we found, this is a new card here. This is Tripwire, so this is from one of the expansions. So for one action, I can place this card in your current room with 3 trap tokens. When a creature moves into this room, it takes 2 damage, and then one of the trap token goes away. When an adventurer walks into this room, they have to make a movement check. If they pass, then they discard 1 token. If they fail, then they take 1d3 of damage, and then you move a token. Or I can use a machete, which gives me +2 to my attack rating, and it's a strength-based weapon, and +1 to misadventure checks. My guy is a pretty big explorer, story guy, so I'm going to actually take that. Also, I have a strength of 4, so it's ideal for me in that particular case. So the item we choose to not keep will get discarded, and that is my first action of 6. So my second action, oh, I apologize. This turns to yellow. After you do it, always turn that. Alright, so for the second here, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take Christopher St. George, and he's going to start exploring for us. So let's go over here. This is Chris, so we'll do 1, 2. We'll send him down to level 2 here in the Pharaoh's Hall, and then we'll send him this way, just like we did in the little tutorial video. So we'll draw a tile until we see that it does in fact have level 2 on it. We'll flip it over. Oh, good. We found quicksand, which makes us do a strength test, and if you fail it, you get the status ailment slowed. This trap can trigger 3 times. So the first time it will trigger is obviously with you in there, so we'll put 2 more tokens. So let's go ahead, and Christopher St. George has a 3 strength. So let's transfer over here, go back. We're going to roll 3d6. Roll dice. And there we go. 5s and 6s are successes, so we passed. And so he is safe. And unfortunately, that was all of his movement, so that's as far as he's going to get to go on his particular turn. Alright, so let's go back over here to Iron O'Sullivan. So we'll do his second action. And for his second action, we will go ahead and let's go ahead and explore with him on level 1. So we find a tile labeled level 1 in this case. Throw it down here. We found the Fountain of Youth. So just connect that here. Usually these aren't so finicky, but this blanket I'm using is kind of bad, so sorry guys. There we go. Okay, so I move in. So the first thing that happens is when you rest in this room, you'll gain double. Okay, so that's not an expiration, that's just if we rest here. So that's good. And then the symbol in the top right indicates that this is actually one of our scenario triggers. It's scenario trigger 1. So let me set that down here, and I can read you guys the flavor text for the scenario trigger for 1. So anytime that we get a room tile that has just the 1 and that on it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to swap it over again. I apologize, guys. I'm terrible at this. So there you go. That is the token. That's the tile for scenario triggers. There's the Fountain of Youth. There's its special ability for you guys. So let me set this down. Alright, so when we find a room with just the 1 triangle, the first thing that happens is the Curse of the Mummy. All around the room there are engravings, hieroglyphics, and ancient relics from the age of the Egyptian empires. They mention Ras Azul Ahmet many times, and then as you search these histories for clues, you wake something from its deep slumber. Its disembodied blue eyes flash in the darkness, and a loud maniacal laughter echoes in the depths of your mind, mesmerizing you for a moment. You try to resist, and so now we have to attempt to resist the curse, which is a mythos test, which unfortunately I'm terrible at. So let's go ahead and hop back over to our lovely dice page here. Go back. And my mythos on Iron O'Sullivan is a 1. So let's roll the dice. Hey, we got a 6. So we actually passed. So we resist the curse. And that's all that would happen with that scenario trigger. So let me transfer back here before I forget and disappoint everyone again. Okay, so that was the end of his turn. So now we can go back here to Christopher St. George, flip over his second action tile, and he'll go ahead and he's going to continue exploring this dungeon. So he's going to go up 1, and then he's going to go over here for his second movement. So we grab a tile. This one says level 2, flip it over, and we found the Grand High Masonic Lodge, which is in fact one of the other scenario trigger rooms of 2. So let's go ahead and place that. Enter. So again, just so you guys can see it, there we go. So let me go ahead and grab the book again for you all, and let's read the trigger for the 2. Alright, so the triggers are special here. Anytime that we find the room with the 2 triangles or the 3 triangles, the first time is we're going to find that Staff of Ra that we need. So let's read it. So the first potent talisman, the Staff of Ra. So the trigger is the 2 triangles or the 3 triangles for the first time. In the center of this room is a strange platform, and on it sit 3 huge sarcophagi shaped in the likeness of the great Sun King Ra. On the centermost sarcophagus, Ra's hands are crossed over his chest, holding the legendary Staff of Ra. This is what you've been searching for. What luck! Pulling with all of your might, you yank the staff from the once pristine coffin. As soon as you remove it, the lids of the coffins float up into the air, releasing plumes of horrid fumes, and then smash onto the floor. Out of the coffins emerge 3 huge reanimated mummies. This can't be happening. The legends are true. So we have to place 3 keepers of the tomb. These are the guys that we actually set aside at the start of the game, because they are special for this particular scenario. So once we defeat all 3 of these monsters, let me do this, we will get this Staff of Ra, which is the first of 3. There we go. And so there they are. There's our mummies. So they have a special ability of slowing, 1 movement, 2 courage loss, 3 attack rating, no defense, 5 health, 1 evasion, and 3 soul shards for beating one of them. And so that would be the end of Christopher St. George's turn. So let's go ahead and head back over here to Iron O'Sullivan's turn. So go back over here. We're going to go ahead and have good old Iron Sullivan. He's going to explore for us one more time. So, find another tile that we can use. Here we go. Leif Erikson's Grotto. So, we have another one of the 1 scenario icons, and +1 movement for when we explore this room. Okay, so he'll move in. So I get +1 to my movement because of the exploration that actually happens in this room. So I grab one of the little +1 movement icons, put it on his card to signify he now is 3 + 1, so 4 movement. And we will go ahead and trigger, once again, the Curse of the Mummy, which, if we remember, is a Mythos test. So let's hop over to our dice, roll again. Oh, look at that. We managed to roll a 6 again. Wow, talk about lucky. Okay, so we'll transfer back. So that's the end of his turn. And I need to get some water, so let's go ahead and end this video right here. And when we come back, we will go ahead and do combat with all these keepers down here. So, be back and see you guys soon.